Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nancy's Kitchen. Um, Today, instead of showing you a recipe, I thought, why not sit and chat just a little bit? I hope that you find this video interesting and informative, and you have questions answered. If you've been watching any of my videos, you might have noticed that I don't really look at the camera. I can't really focus. And so, yes, I am blind. There's no secret. If you see me in the streets, you will see me with a cane. If you see me at home, you won't see me with a cane. I'm sure there's so many questions, but we're just going to stick to cooking because all the other questions, sure, there's blind people that can answer it. Sure, I can answer it. But this is Nancy's Kitchen. This is a show. This is a channel about cooking, cooking-related questions and inquiries, curiosities, and all that sort. And you may be asking yourself, okay, she's blind. How does she cook? So just for clarification, I've been blind/low vision from birth. So my eyes have not worked well to function beside legal blindness since I was born. So I was born with a congenital disease, retinitis pigmentosa, which is a degenerative disease of the retina. And, they diagnosed it really early. I would say, I think I have a picture with glasses when I was 8 months old. So there you go. That's just my little blurb about me. And yes, I work. I have a professional life. I have a family. As my fiance, you've met him on the channel. So yes, and I have 2 kids, which you guys haven't met. But if you know me in person, you know who they are. But for their privacy's sake, I try not to say their names or indicate what my job is. But it's not because I want to be paranoid. But to be honest, I want to keep this channel wholesome and just it being about kitchen stuff, or, I really don't even talk about my career because my career, some people would say it's controversial. I don't know. I don't think so. But either way, so far, it's just something for me. This is like an outlet, a hobby, and I do cook. So by the way, yes, I do. When you guys have seen my videos on like the panes rellenos videos, yes, I cooked Thanksgiving. I did that. And I do cut. So now getting into how do you do it? You're blind. You can't see. So I would say it's taken experience and time. I would say I've always been able to chop. I have gotten cuts. I am not going to lie on that one. And it's been, I had an incident where somebody said to me, you can't be blind because that looks so perfectly chopped. I was so angry at that person for suggesting that blind people could not chop, because that is further from the truth. I have cutting boards. I have multiple knives. I try to keep my kitchen as well stocked. I have different types of colanders, different types of strainers. I have a million things because different tools do different things. And as a blind person, I'm not going to be trying to struggle. Like if I need to pour pasta, sometimes a colander for the bigger noodles is fine. But if I have the thin pasta, like the angel hair pasta, then I have like a metal mesh strainer. Or for tuna, when I want to strain the tuna from the can, same thing. So I really try to have a lot of tools. That's number one. Number two, safety. So besides the tools, the safety, I try to not cook in a hurry. It doesn't always work because the girl gets hungry. And then safety is really important. There are things for the blind that you can use for safety. There's finger guards. So when you chop, I do not use that. I try to be very careful with the knife. And when I mean very careful is I try to focus on what I'm doing. I try not to be distracted on what I'm doing, because that's when I get cut. And then it's happened, and I've learned my lesson. And to be honest, it's been very few times that I've gotten cut. And I think I can only remember one time that was really bad. And when I mean really bad, I had a really bad cut. It took about 2 weeks to heal. So nothing that needed stitches. So yes, I can chop. There's no problem. So then now for cooking. So how do I know things are done? Consistency. Okay, here's the break. Intermittent break. I am drinking a margarita. So cheers while we're talking about cooking, right? All right. Back to our dog. So how do I know things are done? Usually because things change consistency. Like chicken, my mother is a cook. So, and she is completely sighted, and she told me the best advice ever, which is a no-duh statement. When the fork goes into the meat with ease, relatively ease, it's done, right? I've had people criticize me when I've made these type of comments on Facebook. So if you feel like you're the one that wants to criticize, I will say, then you close your eyes and you do that and get experience, because you can do it. And I can tell you, I've not ever fed my kids raw meat at all. I've not fed them anything that's past like meat that's been rotten at all, because it makes sense that if it smells bad, once you get it out of the freezer, that's not meat you need to cook. I don't need to have sight for that. Yes, I've used my kids' eyes to confirm that I could say, okay, can you tell me what it looks like? Can you describe, is it this color? Is it this other color? Because I'll know, like, I think one time we got like lamb, and it smelled really bad. So I wasn't going to make it. But I wanted to confirm with my daughter, and she was 10. And I said, so can you describe what this meat looks like? And she said, there's some black pieces. There's some other, like there was discoloration in the meat, right? So I did not know what it had. It could have had fungus. It could have been rotting. I don't know. But we got it. I didn't open it, of course, until I was going to make it when I defrosted it. And that's when we found out, hey, no meat. And so, yeah, something else was made for dinner that day. So that's how you would know. So yeah, nothing gets cooked that is in bad condition. I trust my nose. And this goes with fruit, veggies. You have to trust your nose, your touch. And of course, it does take practice. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I had people tell me bad things about when I made that suggestion to somebody on Facebook. And I honestly, after that, I left that group, because I feel like I'm not going to tell, and I don't know, right? But that piece of advice came from a sighted person that cooks all the time. And she was trying to relay to me, okay, if I couldn't see, how would I know? And my mom always puts like a fork or a knife through something just to figure it out, even when you're like cooking a turkey and things like that. So things change consistency. I do spill. I am not gonna lie. I spill a bit. And do I measure? I really don't. Sometimes I just go by like what I hear on like the seasonings. If the seasonings sound a little rough, then I'll just like tap it to kind of loosen them up before I start seasoning the meat. And that's how I do that. And then for like when I'm doing something on the stovetop, usually noodles the same way, and the same thing for like ground beef. Sometimes I will also put the top on the pot or pan that I'm using, so I know for sure that the ground beef will cook through and through. And anything with bones, I already know takes longer than anything that's boneless, which if you cook, you know that's the case. I don't need to tell you. You intuitively know, right? There are other tools for the blind that are in the kitchen that I rarely use, but I have them. I feel dumb because I feel like rather than being helpful, they're hindering in some ways. So, but that's my personal opinion. I think if somebody is going blind or has had sight all their life, I think it's really important to have the appropriate tools, to have the appropriate space, to cook, to chop, to, if you're going to strain anything, strain over the sink, right? Which is, again, a no dust statement. You can strain, don't have 30 dishes and strain over the sink. Hey, you're not going to burn yourself, right? The steam feels hot. It feels dangerous. I'm kind of used to it by now. The only things I'm not used to is like when I have to make flan and it has to be double boiled and all of that. I do need help. Maybe just putting it in the oven or just checking it, right? So sometimes I will need help, and I'm not afraid to ask if I need it. So now for the tools, like I mentioned earlier, for chopping, there are finger guards, which I don't have an example of. I've never used one, to be honest. I know they exist. I know there's special knives that aren't as sharp, apparently. I have not used those. And there are other types of things. So I'm going to briefly show you one of the things that I do have, and it's upside down here, but if you can see it, I'm going to turn this upside down because the label's upside down, and I'm holding the top. And so right here it has a Braille label. I hope you can see it. And it says garlic, and then I have garlic powder. So that's what it says. And it says it in Braille, and it's in grade 2 Braille. So that means that I have it contractualized. It's not for a person that doesn't know how to read Braille. There are other things that you can use. So Braille I do use in the kitchen, not for every seasoning, and I haven't used it recently because I've been a little lazy and I have not sat down and brailled stuff. But brailing is one of the ways that I found, especially when when I wasn't with my fiance. It was one thing. I would sit down, I would braille, I would have my children read me because the seasonings were. I would place them on the seasoning and boom, I would know what they were. So I only had to ask my kids once what the seasoning was, put that label on it, and then again, I would be able to cook independently without any assistance because I knew what it was. There wasn't any questions. That's what it was. Boom. So yeah, Braille labels in the kitchen, super helpful. If you have dirty hands, well, yeah, you got to wash them and read. Okay, and so that's been really useful. The other thing that's been useful, I'm trying to get them out. I'm going to show you guys different sizes of these are, okay. I don't know if I could have to take them out of the pack because of the glare. I'm not sure. But there are different sizes of bump dots. I don't know if you guys can see them, but if you can't, I apologize. They're this, and so each dot, you can put it on a number in the microwave. And you don't number the microwave. You would just put it on the 5 and the 1 and the start button, and that should be enough. That should be enough where and then the start sometimes is 30 seconds like on ours. So I would just press it. If I wanted a minute, I'd press 30 seconds twice, and that gives me a minute. So yeah, so the bump dots are really helpful. I use them not just in the kitchen. So I have a couple bump dots on the temperatures in the oven, So the oven has it on the 325, on the, I'm sorry, 350, 375, 400, and 425, I believe. Something like that. And then on the, and then I have it on the start and stop button. And that's basically what I use the oven for, right? I have these bump tops in the oven and other places in my home. Super useful for the thermostat, and all that jazz. So yeah, oh my gosh, this video is gonna get long if I show you everything, but I'm gonna try to hurry up and just show you a few more things. Then this is, oh no, I guess this is for the kitchen. This is the way around tags, and there's an app, and you name your tag, and you can name it whatever. If it's a bag of Fritos, you can name it Fritos, and then you know that little thing is belonging to a Fritos bag. There's some, I have not used these, so I know they work because I have them in other things, but I've not used them in the kitchen. This is like another magnet way around thing, and let me see, and stickers. Hold on. I think is this way, stickers. So yeah, these are some of the things that blind people use. I have not used them in the kitchen as much, unfortunately, or fortunately, depends how you want to see it. I have a pretty good memory, and so I have not needed the more assistance, but when I do, I have them available, and hopefully way around is available. Then I don't bake as much, and so I don't think I have used this, but I have also spoons, measuring spoons with Braille. So I hope and I believe it has large print. So there, and then I also have different measuring cups. I guess I'll show you one. And so there's a set of measuring cups, and again, Braille and print, I believe. I don't know for sure because I'm blind, and well, I only know the Braille part. And then one of my favorite things that I've used, but it's a meat thermometer, but I've not used it in any way, shape, or form for meat, but it does one thing. When I open it, oh, it's not going to tell me it.
78.4 degrees Fahrenheit.
It says a 78 in here. So yeah, you can use this for ambiance temperature, which I found to be great, but also it's a meat thermometer, so I could stick it in the oven, and if I wanted, say, the turkey, which needs to be at like at 160 Fahrenheit, this would be fine to stick it in the middle and find out, hey, my turkey's undercooked, overcooked, and so it would just do that. I have other other talking technology and thermometers. So yeah, those are some of the assistive things. I do I guess I would say I put a lot of my hands when I turn burgers or stuff, but I cook from low to medium heat. I don't know if I would recommend anyone else to do it. I would say, like, one thing I would suggest to a blind person when they first start cooking is use larger pans. So, like, if you're moving something around, you're less likely to spill. I would also say don't cook in a hurry. Again, it's just practice. I don't really measure seasonings. I just put on the meat as I see fit. I don't tend to over season. I tend to under season, weirdly, and I think I put a lot. So yeah. So there's a little bit about me, and before we conclude, I did want to say the reason I should have said it at the beginning of the video, but I will say it now. I started this channel just as like just a fun try stuff, not necessarily to be blindness related, but I figured that it's important to talk about something that is evident to most people. And it's not like I'm hiding it. And if you don't ever see me chopping or having these long videos like other YouTubers, or it's because I don't know how to use editing software, and some of it is not accessible, and I am not sure how does editing work. So I don't want to take videos where I have to cut, and then cook, and then like do all of that. I don't think so. I just want, like I said, I want it to be fun. If I try something, give you guys recipes. If you find it useful, then great. And if you don't, then great. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, I'll try to look out for any comments in this video, just to answer you guys' questions. If I notice that there are comments, to try to address anything that I did not talk about. I will say with the caveat, I am not going to talk about other blindness related things such as assistive technology in education, or this is not what this channel is for. This channel, I really basically want to include it in cooking. I do have other parts of my life where I dedicate a lot to finding out about technology and work, and sometimes you want to get away from it, so this is like my little escape. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye.